Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Hope you guys had a good weekend. So what the heck? Wake up to a no news Monday with all-time highs. This is going to be fun to trade, huh? So we made a new all-time high, kind of starting to show some rejection, but below previous day high. So let's see if we get a pullback at the open. Hopefully, that would be nice. But for me, looking for a pullback to enter long, this has been nothing but bullish so far. There's lots of confluence at this point of control level. Let me see if I can get rid of that alert. I had that alert set yesterday. So down here, point of control is sitting, or point of control from Friday is sitting right at VWAP. So if we're given that much of a pullback at the open, that might be a good spot to enter long. Other than that, just kind of looking for some possible liquidity grab options. Another thing we can do is throw on a volume profile from the open till now and check out some of these high volume nodes. So this is value area high from Friday. There's a little bit of a high volume node sticking out right there. That could be a possible bounce scenario. So gonna stay flexible this morning. Like I said, no news Monday with all-time highs, kind of a tough combination. Gonna wait for some good setups. Good morning, good morning. G-Man, Ron, Paul, Kevin, Scorpion Futures, Waffles. What's going on, you guys? Oh, thanks, Brandon. Glad you found it helpful. I always get nervous when I do those. I've done I think 3 different videos where I go back to a random date and backtest it. And I literally don't plan ahead. I just scroll to a random date and I'm like, all right, let's see how it works. So it always makes me nervous, but it worked out. Obviously, because, the strategy works. That's what I use. But the pressure is on when you're recording, you know? So I'm glad the levels worked out to kind of show that it works. Mad Moxie, good morning. Rom, you're looking for 165 to 148 for a continuation back up. Yeah, I see that level too. That's kind of the high volume node area that I was talking about here. If you look at the overnight session, that's like 150 to 160 possibly. Yeah, a pullback down to VWAP and point of control area, that's a big pullback. That's 70 points. But with the New York session, that's not that much. That can happen in the first couple minutes. But that would be a good opportunity to maybe look for a little bounce. Stockfather Senior, good morning. So you guys, no news on Mondays? Has that always been a thing, or is that kind of a recent thing? I don't remember that always being a thing. Waffles, I was hit on my trailing stop, so I went to bed and just put my orders in. Ended up, let me look at my account. I ended up doing okay on them. I got like 50 points off of it. Not too shabby. It didn't go all the way to my target though. And then I do have a loss from this morning. You can barely see it because it happened a couple minutes pretty fast. But right here, tried to take a short on the rejection of that high volume node and then getting back below yesterday's value area high. Trying to short against the trend. I know, dumb. So I do have one loss this morning. My thoughts on NQ this morning as it opens, take no marvel, is to be patient and see what happens. Hopefully looking for a pullback to enter on a long. If it shows that it's going to bounce maybe at this value area high, that could be a decent spot. I did throw on a volume profile from the overnight session. There's a decent little shelf here. Ideally though, I mean, if it comes back to this point of control VWAP area, that might be a decent spot to enter. But really just going to stay patient because the plan that I put together last night is kind of out the window because I was not expecting to wake up to all-time highs. So got to be flexible and react. Mohammed, yes. If you go into your settings and go to copy trade, you select the leader and then you check the box for whatever accounts you want to follow. And then on your chart, you take a trade on the leader account and the follower accounts will also take that trade. And then if you like add to your position or add a stop loss or whatever, like anything you do on the leader account is going to copy onto the follower account. Yep, trading all-time highs is definitely tricky. Market's opening in about 1 minute. I'm pretty sure that the position bracket enabled, that is a default setting. If you want it off, you have to turn it off. Yeah, Stockfather Senior, it's definitely easier to know the levels, but when you're at all-time highs, there's not really any like high volume nodes overhead. That's why it makes it tough. So all you can really hope for is a pullback to find support. Like this one right here, for example, that was a high volume node that I marked off from, I mean, really it's not that far back, but you can see that there was quite a bit of transactions in this area. So I had that level marked off, and that's where we pulled back and bounced from. All right, market's open. Let's see if we get a pullback. Not going to be too crazy to jump into anything. Might even wait for the first 15 minutes to settle, unless it just hits an obvious level and like comes down to VWAP and bounces or something. But not feeling too crazy about where we're sitting on price right now. Yartex, good morning. Got a little bounce and still holding above previous day high. Let's see if it gets below this chop right here. I could see where if it gets below this little shelf, like 25, 175, and holds below, possibly continuation down a little bit. Morning, Alex. So far, the first couple minutes have had some selling pressure. Let's see where the continuation actually happens, though. I am watching where I have this little red circle. I am watching this VWAP area for possible bounce. Waffles, you saying you have a busy day at work, so you might not be able to focus on the charts? Yeah, that makes it tough. Trading is tough in general. If you're trying to multitask, it makes things even worse. Coming on down. Friday's value area high. Pretty big sell-off in the open. I know we're only 3 minutes in, but still. It's kind of refreshing that we're actually getting a pullback and we're not just opening with all-time highs at this point. So far, this is our 15-minute opening range high. It got below that small little high volume node that I pointed out. My circle's lining up with the fib. Interesting. Yeah, there's lots of confluence for that level. Point of control from Friday, top of a high volume node from the higher time frame, VWAP general area. Might be a good spot. Oh, Waffles, your comment made me laugh. Sounds like you're having to put out some fires this morning. Looks like it's trying to make its way down. Let's go to the 1 minute time frame and throw on our New York anchored VWAP. So far, it's holding that value area high level. Trying to decide where it wants to go. Yeah, Kevin. Kind of, I guess, something we can expect on a No News Monday, government shutdown, all that stuff. Came back up to previous day high and kind of looked like it's rejecting. I know pre-market, I kind of mentioned possible bounce areas. I mentioned value area high, and then I mentioned point of control. I would rather, if we're looking at longs, I would rather have it come down more to this red circle area. All right, let's see if it's actually making its way back down. The point of control from the overnight session is also in this general vicinity. It's actually sitting at 25,100. So I guess I can make my red circle really big, but this general area, I'm going to be patient and wait for signs of sellers or buyers eating this thing back up. Turn a rectangle into a triangle. I guess it's not that hard to make a rectangle into a triangle. They just wanted to do one extra cut. They were feeling a little spicy. They're like, let's make a diagonal. Lenka, good morning. Actually, if I remember, Link, aren't you in like Germany or something? So I guess it's good afternoon to you. Man, those first like two-minute candles were a good sell-off, and now it's just chopping. I hope this is not a sign of what's to come the rest of the day. That wouldn't be very fun to trade. As of now, this is our opening range low, but that could change. We still have like 4 minutes. Well, let's look at the 5-minute chart. Oh, the 5-minute has some decent, looks like shorts. Well, I'm not taking a short, but like, looks like it's going down. Big 5-minute candle, and then lots of wicks on the top. Big wicks on the top of the other candles. Yeah, Rom, I don't love looking at the 1 minute. Because that would have been easy to get caught in a long there, and for me at least. I don't do great on the 1 minute. For me, it's easier to be patient, sit back, do the 5-minute. Because on the 5-minute, still looks like it's going down. No signs of a bounce yet. For me, I have much less anxiety in my trading if I zoom out to maybe the 2-minute. I'll watch the 2-minute if I'm watching like the open or a news release or something that maybe is a little bit quicker. But in general, try to stay on the 5-minute. Still 2 minutes left on the 15-minute opening range. So this opening range low line could definitely move, but that'll be interesting if the opening range low ended up being somewhere around VWAP or this general vicinity. Then we could possibly look for a long back to the opening range high. Let's see what happens here. Could still come down to point of control from yesterday. We also have point of control from the overnight session at 25,102. So not going to be super quick to enter a long right now, but I am watching this level for possible longs. Gonna see what happens. So far, holding that point of control. Still got 1 minute left on this 2-minute candle. That was a big bounce. A little bit choppy. All right, I'm trying along. 25,146 is where I entered. Not a great entry. Like, maybe could have said I chased it a little bit, but wanted to wait for that candle to close. Let's see if we get back up to the opening range high. Perhaps. It did reclaim VWAP. That was a pretty decent buy up. I ended up taking it in both of my TradeDay accounts. So this is my 150K eval, the contest one that I'm doing. And then I have my regular 50K accounts too. Since it's an all-time high kind of day, I'm going to see if this thing ends up running. So I'll take one off at the opening range high if it gets there, of course. Going to move to break even at this point because we're still kind of in the initial volatility of the open. Don't want this thing to turn around on me. It's rejecting that anchored VWAP right there. Might adjust my stop loss a little bit. Give it a little more room. Ah, dang it. Stop loss was in the wrong spot on that one. Re-entering it. Stockfather, no, I did not take it based only on VWAP. There was lots of confluence for that level. I'll go back to my chart here in a second and show you. Come on, let's get some movement up. Movement away so I can comfortably move to break even. Still rejecting that anchored VWAP. Come on, you gotta get above that. This blue line that I just put on, that's the New York anchored VWAP, anchored from the open of the New York session. Still rejecting that. Gotta get above. Come on. Don't fail me now. Is it gonna make it? Well, that one ended up getting stopped out. This one probably is too. Yep. All right. So that one didn't work out. That's okay. I'll explain to you why I took the entry though. There was lots of confluence down here. This was a high volume node and point of control from Friday, and then it reclaimed VWAP. Still could be right though, because it's still holding above VWAP. Might re-enter. Come on. Let's see what happens here on this next candle. Still holding it. It may have been a scenario where I just didn't give it enough room on the stop loss. Probably would have been smarter to put it all the way down below this wick. Might re-enter. I think the idea is still good. Thinking about it. Yeah, definitely slow moving this morning, you guys. This is not fun. Keeps bouncing off of this, the overnight session VWAP. Is that what you're talking about, G-Man? Yeah, so far it's kind of chopping between the two. Yeah, that's why I'm considering re-entering long. Just want to be patient and make sure it's the right thing to do since I've already taken one stop out on it. But I do like this bounce off the point of control level, reclaiming VWAP. Let's just see if we get some continuation back up. It's pinching between the two. Buyers and sellers trying to figure out who's going to win. That was a big drop on the open on that first 15-minute candle. It's holding though. Since then, this next 15-minute candle has been holding. What do you guys think in the chat? Is it going to hold this level and eventually start making its way back up? Or is it just consolidating for more downside? What do you guys think? I kind of would like to think it's going to hold and go up. But the continuation of the New York open trend would be down. May go up, may go down. Very wise words. You are actually correct. Either one could happen. Mixed reviews in the chat. Some say up, some say down. Nobody knows. If we actually get some volume showing back up and get some momentum to the upside, I would love to take a long. Come on, buyers, show back up. Get off your coffee break. Go enter your orders. Go long. Come on. All right, I'm scaling in. If it breaks view up, I might add to it with some volume. I'm going long. If it gets volume to the upside and breaks view up, I'll add. I should clarify, with volume. Because if it's kind of a slow, choppy grind up past view up like this, I don't like it. Let's see if it gets back up to the opening range high. That's kind of what I'm aiming for. Come on, baby, let's go long. It's looking like it might break to the upside. See if we get some volume confirming it, and I'll add. Wait for this candle to close. So far, so good. Still rejecting that New York anchor VWAP. Come on. Let's see if it gets above and actually holds the break this time. It keeps trying to push to the upside. I feel like one of these times it's actually going to break and hold. I still like longs. Let's see if this 2-minute candle actually closes above VWAP and we get some continuation. There we go. Come on, candle, close. Close up there. I don't want to see another wick. There we go. Come on. Days like this with just the slow grind, low volume. Oh my gosh. So hard to sit here and watch it. Makes me lack confidence in the setup, in the trade. All right, I'm moving to break even at least just because I don't want to sit here feeling anxious about it. Moving them both to break even. And then same idea as before, since it's a kind of an all-time high kind of day, I'm going to scale out a little bit at the opening range high and see if we happen to get some continuation. I could be wrong. I'll watch the reaction up there. Hopefully it doesn't just come out and get my break even and I mess it up. So Stockfather, why I like the long. If you look at the higher time frame all night, it's been up. So I was initially looking for longs at the open. I was looking for a pullback to enter long. And I don't know if you saw it, but I had a little red dot at this area. There was lots of confluence down here because at the time, VWAP was at that level. We have Friday's point of control at that level. And then this gray shaded area is a higher time frame, high volume node. If you've watched any of my videos, I use the visible range volume profile. So this was a high volume node, which to me would serve as support. So there was lots of confluence for this general region. So I was looking to enter along there. That's why I've tried this idea twice now. And then also, if you look at the 5-minute time frame, you can see that it's kind of holding as a base here. There's lots of wicks on the bottom sides of these candles. It just, price action, like I was looking at this level anyway, and then just price action looked like it was trying to hold that level. Sellers weren't able to get it through that level, at least yet. I could be wrong. That's why I'm putting my stop loss at break even aggressively, because this could just be a little fake bounce and then we're going to get more downside. You think ES is going down, YM is dumping? Uh-oh. Well, hopefully NQ is not following suit. But again, that's why I'm moving my stop loss to break even aggressively, because I'm fully prepared to be wrong and protect my risk. Yep, making its way back down. That one ended up stopping me out. I had slightly different stop losses on those. Where is the gap fill? That would be a long way down for NQ. Yikes. I don't know. That's possible. All right. Going to try the shorts. Let's see if it breaks this opening range low. It is rejecting VWAP. $145 is the entry. See if it comes down to grab some of this liquidity down here. G-Man, I hate the idea of flipping. I always just have to check myself and make sure I'm not flipping just because I'm like angry that my idea is not working out, you know? Because when that starts happening, that's bad. But here's the anchored VWAP from the low of day. We've broken below that. We continuously can't break above the New York anchored VWAP. We just got to get back below this opening range low. It's still holding VWAP. I don't like that. Oh my gosh. Don't have a great read on price right now, you guys. If this doesn't work out, I'm going to need to sit for a bit. A more realistic target might be to here like 25,100. Quite a bit of confluence there. It's the bottom of the high volume node, point of control from the overnight session, and the bottom of the standard deviation band. I'm not getting the feeling that this thing is just going to dump all the way down. This is our opening range low. Let's see if it actually breaks below there. Still stuck below that anchored VWAP. I don't like the way shorts are looking right now. Might just exit the position and wait for a little more confirmation. It's kind of what I'm leaning towards. Yeah, I'm getting out of it, you guys. Getting out early. Taking the loss. Gonna wait for more information here. I don't like shorts right now. Well, I'm glad I killed it because now it's going up big time. Yeah, barcode price action. It's ugly. Zooming out to the 5-minute, you can see how bad it looks. Still holding VWAP though. Above the session view up. We do have our initial balance set in 14 minutes. Might get some better action off of that. Yartex, I just saw your question. The extended hours, if you right click on your screen, whether it's TradingView or Project X, wherever you are, right click, go to settings, and then scroll down to the session, electronic or regular trading hours. Regular trading hours will just be the New York session. When in doubt, zoom out. 15-minute chart shows wicks all over the place, you guys. Tops and bottoms of those candles. Mon, hello. Let's see how this 5-minute candle closes. See if we get some bullish action outside of this little choppy range. Or if we get a sell-off. Maybe we can get some information. Ugly, choppy price action. Originally, I had quite a bit of confidence for longs. But then ended up flipping short and then killed it early. So obviously a sign that I have no idea what's going on right now. Time for me to sit out and wait for some more information. G-Man, still short. I don't like the way it's continuing to hold VWAP though. And there's, I feel like, lots of wicks on the bottom side of these 5-minute candles. Still holding this big support area I have marked off. I think if I was going to be in a short, I would have had to downsize more to put my stop loss like further up here. But I still had the idea, like I still had the feeling for longs, so I didn't like the idea of short. Still getting vibes that is going up. Well, while we're waiting for a little more information, you guys, if you haven't already, go hit that like button. We got 90 of you in here. What's going on, by the way? Happy Monday. Thanks for watching. There she goes. Oh my goodness. I figured a breakout was coming. I just was losing my confidence on which direction it was going to be. Dang it. Hindsight's 2020, right? Too bad I didn't stay in my position. Donna, good morning. Rob, you're trying to short. I think, so I'll tell you guys why. I wanted a long anyway, just looking at like overnight trending up, pull back to a good level. I was watching for longs, but I'll tell you a big part of the reason I'm not wanting to short too is a little bit of PTSD. Shorting on all-time high days has ruined me in the past. So I think I'd rather just sit out. If I don't find a long opportunity, I'm gonna sit out. No more shorts for me. Shorting on all-time high days just not good for me. Maybe someone else can make it work, but not me. Goodness, you guys, it had that big jump up and then back into the chop. This is nasty. How many accounts do you think are going to get blown today? Yeah, absolutely, Alex. If you can walk away green today, that is a massive win. I would say hit that lockout button and go enjoy your day. Ugly, ugly. Yeah, I love that lockout feature in Project X. Because then while you're thinking sanely in your right mind, you can make yourself stop trading. Helps with discipline, that's for sure. Or I guess it helps with sticking to your rules, would be more accurate, and not just relying on your discipline. Because it makes it impossible for you to have any emotion behind it. It's already locked out. Yeah, Stockfather Senior, that last move you think was a liquidity sweep, but it's doing the same thing to the downside too. I think it's just blowing accounts. That's what it's doing. It's all over the place. There's no clear direction. I don't think anyone really knows exactly where it's going. It is breaking the low of day anchored VWAP again. The blue line right here, this darker blue line, is the session VWAP anchored from the open last night. And then the light blue VWAP right here, that's the New York anchored VWAP at the 9:30 Eastern candle. Coming back down towards VWAP. The low of day anchored VWAP, let's put that on there. We are breaking below that. It's just chopping around everywhere. All three VWAPs are flat, so it's kind of hard to use that as confluence. Verisat, thank you. But yeah, I don't stay in shape because of my YouTube name. Fitness is just a big part of my life. I love working out, staying healthy. But yeah, that'd be bad if I got online and was starting to get chubby. I'd have to change my name. Yep. Attendees, this is definitely one of those days where you gotta be careful not to get flip-flopping back and forth. I agree. Staying patient right now. It does definitely look like it's getting weak. Yeah, I like kettlebells. I don't do a lot of the fancy like juggling and stuff with them, but some of the basics. I do like kettlebells. Any weights. I don't love machines, but barbells, dumbbells, kettlebells, all that stuff. Let's see if we actually get a clear break below VWAP. That would be nice to get outside of this chop. Would kind of make me feel better about actually trying taking a stab at a short. I just don't want to try a short and then have it bounce again. So, kind of looking like it is going down. Short targets. I don't know, with how low the volume is and how choppy it is. I don't know if we should look at like bigger targets or what, but the bottom of this high volume node, 25,097. It's also where the overnight point of control is, right near like 25,100 and the bottom of the standard deviation band. That could be a decent spot to scale out. And then from there, we have much bigger targets down here at like 2520. But we'd have to get some pretty big volume to get this thing moving. Yep. Definitely looks like this thing's heading down. Good job, those of you guys who got in a short. Still continuing the choppiness. So I was watching the 1 minute chart on my other screen and ended up getting in on that retest of VWAP, but I don't trust it. So my stop loss is already at break even. $150.5 is where I entered. That is my average position. Gonna see what happens down here at 25.94. Gold's flying. New all-time highs again. Goodness. So I'm watching this level here at 25,100-ish. See if it bounces there or if we get further downside. I'm taking partial profits at 102. That is the point of control from the overnight level, overnight price action. And it's kind of the bottom of this high volume node. If it ever makes it down there. We do have our initial balance set. So we need to be careful of this level at 25,117 possibly holding as support. But if it breaks and holds below that, then there's definitely more downside possibility coming. If this thing bounces back up, you guys, I'm done. This choppiness sucks. All right, Stockfather, have a good one. Have a great day. Yeah, attendees, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a short trap. It's about to hit my stop loss anyway. Because it's still holding that level. This is a big level right here. Point of control from yesterday. Still chopping around this VWAP. We have 4 minutes until this 15-minute candle closes. So if it closes like with strength below VWAP, I could definitely see more downside coming. But if this thing bounces, then yeah, this could be a big fake out for shorts. And we'd end up going long. So we'll see how it closes in 4 minutes. That's why I've been aggressive to move my stop loss to break even, because I'm not convinced. At least I'm managing my risk though. Coming down to that initial balance low. Let's see if we bounce and hold here, or if we get some continuation down. Tendies, oh my gosh, do something. Yeah, I agree. Breaking below the initial balance for now. Are we going to get heavy and continue? Or is this going to be a fake breakout, trap in shorts, and then we continue back up? What's it going to be? Could be a failed initial balance, failed action. That is possible. One minute left on that 15-minute candle. I'm going to reverse it. Totally could be wrong, and I'm okay with that. I'm going to be done after this. $137.5 is where I entered. Up there. See where this bad boy goes. What is ES doing? ES is getting a bounce. Let's see, let's see. Still rejecting that VWAP. Yeah, attendees, the London session was beautiful. I don't usually. So on Sunday nights, I do if the price action is moving well, which it was last night. So I did take a long on NQ last night. I try not to trade Asia during the week, especially when it's slow and choppy. Because my win rate's not great, and it's not fun to watch paint dry. Every once in a while, I wake up early. I'm a super early morning person. I wake up at like 4 a.m. So I'll sometimes catch a London trade. But no, I'm asleep during the London session. All right, coming up towards that New York anchored VWAP. I love me a good failed auction trade. Let's see if this thing plays out. Sorry, I put my position tool on. I didn't show you guys the actual trade, but yeah, I'm in it. Come on. That New York anchored VWAP has been resistance all day. What the heck? I really wanted to break through. I know price doesn't care what I want though. I know. Man, it was such a beautiful setup for a failed auction. Bounced off of that high volume node, point of control. Got bought right back up, just no continuation. The point of control for the current session is sitting right at that New York anchored VWAP. That's kind of where it's having trouble breaking through. Oh yeah, for sure. Attendees, if you want to say like an official failed auction by definition, it's the first 30-minute candle, or it's a 30-minute candle that breaks outside and closes back within the range. So we still have like 8 minutes left for sure. But I don't always wait until that 30-minute candle has closed to enter the trade, because then you could possibly miss the whole setup. So I usually anticipate it. And the reason I got in long on this one is, like I was saying, it bounced off of this level that I've been watching anyway, and then started to close back within the range, at least on the 5-minute. So I anticipated a little bit, but yeah, 30-minute candle is officially a failed auction. See if we can break up above this 25,160 level. That's where we're stuck right now. It's not a very pretty close on this last 5-minute candle right here. Not very pretty. So we only have 5 minutes left on this 30-minute candle. It's looking more and more like it is a failed auction. But still chopping around. Kind of an ugly day. Is this price action putting anyone to sleep yet? Jeez. See if we can actually move up above that point of control VWAP level this time. 25,160. If we hold above there, I would feel better about more upside. Gotta get out of this chop. A nice candle closure outside of the chop would be nice. This is that spot that we need to break above. Yeah, we're definitely back above the session VWAP, but this New York anchored VWAP has been where we're rejecting the whole session. The whole New York session. Point of control keeps shifting. It's a slow grind kind of day. Man, you guys see point of control, this yellow line keeps jumping back and forth. Basically, wherever price is, the point of control is following. Because it's been stuck in this range for a couple minutes. For 30 minutes, really. Tendies, you can play the initial balance, the failed auction a couple different ways. Targeting all the way to the other end of the range is pretty aggressive. This is kind of just my like home run target. I'm going to see how price plays out. I mean, if it stays slow and choppy like this, a better target might be the 50% mark. Sorry, I'm about to sneeze. So I have my initial balance indicator right here. The midpoint of the range is at 25,169. So you could take some off there. I would probably, like I said, if we get some momentum and this thing starts moving, then yeah, initial balance high would be a good target. But scaling out would probably be better. Either the midpoint of the range or, like, to me, previous day high, or the standard deviation band for VWAP is at 25,184. That's also the top of a high volume node. If you look left, you can see that that was a decent level for resistance. So I personally scale out on my initial balance trades, and then I'll leave a runner up to the other end of the range. That's usually how I do it. Also, considering that we've made an all-time high today, I mean, we could make a new high as well. So it might be worth it to even just leave one micro as a runner. But again, see how price plays out. If it stays choppy, then I'm not going to leave an all-time high runner. Let's see if we get some volume behind it and it actually starts moving. So it broke up above that 160 level I was watching. Just barely. I'd like to see some continuation on this thing. Isn't that the story of the day, though? No continuation. Wishful thinking. So we're sitting at the midpoint of the range right now. I like 184 for my first scale out opportunity. Rob, I saw you're going long. What are you targeting? The initial balance high? Or are you going for more? What are your thoughts? Oh, like a new all-time high. Crazy. Do you scale out your target, your profits at all? Or are you like an all in, all out kind of person? There you go, Rom. A break even day on a day like today is not a bad way to finish, in my opinion. What's up, G-Man? Got ourselves a little failed auction play here. It's pretty sweet. So, bounced off that support level that I was watching, point of control, and the high volume node. Wicked outside of the range and closed back above. We had to sit through this chop forever. It was looking ugly for a while. Yeah, that's why I like using micros. That way I can have more than one contract and the ability to scale in and out. Using minis makes it impossible to do that because there's no way I'm using more than one mini. I'm not that brave. Still working its way up slowly. No particular reason, G-Man. So the reasoning, I think for this one, I wouldn't say there's a specific rhyme or reason, but I originally entered with 5 and I added when it kind of gave some confirmation. And I think my thought was I didn't want to add another 5 because then that would mess up the average of my position a little bit more. So I wanted to add less than 5 and I went with 4. So again, not a great reason. Kind of silly. I wish I had a better answer for you. Based on data and risk percentage, nope. It just seemed like a good number to enter with. Usually keeping my risk around $200. I didn't have, I think it was around 300 on this one, but this is my 150K account. So usually that's my reasoning for having weird numbers on my entries, is to keep my risk around 200. So this first scale out is at that wick high, so that's a decent reason alone, but it's also the top of this high volume node and the standard deviation band of VWAP. So I like that as a first scale out opportunity. We also do have previous day high, which could serve as resistance. That's sitting around 25,200. And if this thing continues bullish, we got initial balance high as a good target. This is a small range on NQ. $111 points for the total range of the New York session. Attendees, I actually trade the 50K accounts with TradeDay typically. That's what I have for my personal accounts. This is a competition account that I'm doing just for funsies. They invited me to do a competition, so that's what they were having everyone trade is their 150K accounts. But yeah, I don't love 150K accounts in general because I feel like the drawdown to profit target ratio is not fair. Like a 50K account, it's a $3,000 target and 2K drawdown. This one is only double the drawdown. It's 4K drawdown, but 3 times the profit target. It's a $9,000 profit target. So to me, I don't feel like the trade-off is worth it to go with a bigger account. But that's what they have us trading. It's definitely outside of my comfort zone. I'm used to the 50K accounts. So I've actually had to reset this account already just because the mental aspect of it, like a $9,000 profit target is just messing with my head. That seems like so far off. And then having to increase the size on it too. And then seeing that my like realized P&L is red, just all that. I had a little mental lapse with it last week. So I had to reset my account. I'm starting fresh with my head screwed on straight this time. Yeah. That's kind of what I had to give myself a little pep talk this weekend is like, don't try to pass it in 5 days like I normally do. Don't oversize and trade like a degen. Just trade like regular. If it takes 3 weeks to pass it, oh well. Have fun with it. Well, the problem with that, attendees, is to pass a trade day eval, it's 5 days. You have to trade for 5 days. Like I can't just go all in and throw on like 5 contracts and hit a $9,000 profit target in 1 day to pass. So that might work for the first day, just to hit my profit target on day 1. But I have to have some sort of consistency because you have to hit the $9,000 profit target over 5 days with a 30% consistency. So the max you can make in 1 day is $2,700. So it's definitely not the kind of account that you can just go all in. Coming back down to VWAP. Let's see if it holds. I don't want to see it break below again. Yeah, 1,800 a day would be times 5 days. But again, that's a big number. I'm used to trading 50K accounts. Most of the time, my daily profit targets in my personal accounts are like 900 to maybe 1,400. Like my Lucid accounts, I cap it at 1,400 just for consistency rules and stuff. So yeah, 1,800 is a lot. It's interesting though, the mental aspect of trading. I mean, we all know we're traders. That's the hard part of it, right? So just having the little numbers game going on in my head just made me trade like a dummy. risk 25% of my account each trade? No, I'm not taking that advice. That only gives me 4 losses. Are you talking about 25% of my drawdown or 25% of like the 150K? No, attendees, I'm talking about a prop firm account. No way, Rob. Like I said, it's a 5-day eval. I'm not risking 25%. That only gives me 4 losses. You do you, but that's way too aggressive for me. I would be resetting my accounts all the time if I did that. If I, like Lucid, for example, or Tradeify, they have a 1-day pass with their growth account or their test account. Yes, I'm much more aggressive with those because you can have one good trade where you size up and you pass it in one trade. That's usually how I trade those, yeah. But with TradeDay, where it's 5 days, 30% consistency, you have to trade a little smarter than that. Still holding VWAP. Come on, let's continue up. Five-minute looks choppy. What does a 15-minute look like? 15-minute looks decent. Green candles heading on up. It's just slow. Check out that volume down on the bottom. Volume has disappeared. Hey, Ram, how's it going? You haven't taken any trades yet? Yeah, it's been a tough day, honestly. Super choppy. I definitely got faked out a couple times. I was looking for longs on that bounce off of Friday's point of control, but it kept chopping around, and then I kind of was like, oh, well, maybe we should go short. So I took a short. Finally got into a long position, and it's a slow, painful grind. How do I use volume with my trading? I actually just released a video last night talking about it, so go check it out. But I use the session volume profile to get like the previous sessions, point of control, value area high, value area low. And then, let me turn that off. I use the visible range volume profile, which is this volume over here, to find areas of support and resistance. So I break it down a little bit more in the video I just put on my YouTube channel last night. You're welcome to check it out. Oh, the section, the lower section. Honestly, I don't use it a ton. So the only things I use it for is kind of just watching volume die off. Like you can see right now that obviously price is super choppy and slow and it's like just grinding, and seeing that volume is way low like this or dying kind of makes me feel like we should stop trading for the day. Like once this position is done, I'm out. Because to me that can be dangerous. Like if volume is low like this, as soon as one big buyer or seller comes out or some news headline or some tweet from Trump comes out, there's going to be a crazy candle and it's going to take out my position. So I don't like low volume. And then I also use volume for confirmation of a break or a bounce. So like for example, this was the initial balance low. It came down and bounced off of that, and there was some good volume there. I don't pay attention to the red or the green because obviously with that wick, a lot of this volume was buying volume too. Don't get tripped up on the fact that because it's red, it was all selling volume. That's a lie. So I'll use it on a bounce or a break. Like if I'm doing a VWAP break, if it breaks with volume, then I have a little bit more confidence that it's going to continue the momentum. So I was already in a long on this position, but you can see on this break above VWAP that it didn't come with very much volume. So I would not have had confidence in taking a long right here. So those are the ways I use volume. Just kind of watching it die off for the day for when I should stop trading, and then confirmation of a reaction at a level. Do I trade crypto? I swing trade crypto. So I have some like long-term holds that I'll use leverage on. Small leverage, like 5x, 7x maybe. But I don't like do that on stream. That's just for my own portfolio. Are sells viable right now? Well, I'm in a long, so I hope not. I don't see any reason to take shorts right now. It bounced off of a key level. It's holding above VWAP, holding above point of control, holding above the session value area high. Like, I personally don't see any reason to take a short, but I'm also willing to admit that I could be wrong. What VWAP indicator am I using for TradingView? I think just the regular one. So I just typed in VWAP and it's under technicals, volume weighted average price, that one. Yeah, our June, I wouldn't have seen any reason to take a short. That's just me though. Could be different based on your strategy. But it's above every level I'm seeing and trending up, holding above levels. So that's just my opinion though. You need me to make 1,500 a day? Why? Why do you need me to make 1,500? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, manifesting. Gotcha. The power of positive thinking. Where are you seeing this red folder news at 1 p.m.? I show nothing today. I've looked on Forex Factory and Financial Juice. Does anyone else see red folder news? I don't even see orange folder news. Like, there's nothing. What am I missing? All I saw for today was a couple of speakers. Yeah, I see speakers, but I don't see any red folder news releases. They've been canceling red folder news anyway with the government shutdown. I don't know what you're talking about. Take note, Marvel. You're crazy. Well, today's not October 8th, yo. Today's October 6th. Check your calendar. See, I told you, you're crazy. Yeah, government shutdown has been canceling all the red folder stuff. I think tomorrow there was already supposed to be the trade balance release at 8:30 Eastern, and that's already taken off of my Financial Juice. That's not there anymore. So I wonder if tomorrow is going to be a no news, choppy kind of day. We have a bunch of speakers tomorrow. We do have Fed Kashkari speaking tomorrow at 11:30 Eastern. And every time that guy speaks, we drop big time. He's always super hawkish. I shouldn't say always. Usually. So be aware of that. But yeah, the trade balance that was supposed to be scheduled for tomorrow is gone. Might not have any news tomorrow. VWAP settings. So I do add the upper and lower bands, the standard deviation bands, because I'm torn on it. I'll be honest. It makes my chart look a little bit cluttered, so it messes with my head. But I do find that price reacts at those levels a lot, so I leave those on. Inputs, I have OHLC 4, and the anchored period is the session, so that anchors it at the 6 p.m. open for the day before. But yeah, that's what my settings are at. Oh, there you go, Cracker Barrel. You're the smart one in the chat. I do have it filtered for US news. Let me see. Is it a European thing? I don't know. I'm still not seeing it. Well, honestly, at this point, I would invite some sort of news because then it'll move, right? I would love for it to move. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing it. I still just see a bunch of speakers. At least on Financial Juice. I didn't look on Forex Factory. Randy Rogers, did you figure out? Oh, what about the green one? What's the green one? I don't know. What green one? Are you talking about my risk to reward tool? This one? My long position tool? That's just my long position. So this is where my entry was, and that's where my TP hopefully is. I don't know what other green one you're talking about. This teal one right here. Oh, yeah. That is manually entered. So if you're in Trading View, come over to the projections tool, anchored VWAP, and then you can click on whatever candle you want. So I click right there on the 8:30 opening candle. So I actually go to the 1 minute chart so that I can make sure to get it on the 8:30 candle. And then I click on that candle, and then you can change the color. So on the settings that pop up, I make it light blue, but whatever candle you want or whatever color you want. That one is done by hand every day at the New York Open. Why do I avoid gold when it's trending so nice? Oh man, isn't that the question? Gold is awesome when it's trending. I have been eaten alive with gold. I've tried to trade it. Like I've tried in practice accounts. I've tried with really small positioning. I have some wins on it, but I'm still learning how it moves. So yes, it does. When it moves nicely. The problem is I can't tell when it's trending and when it's choppy. So like this right here, that was a nice trend. If you were in a short, lots of money to be made. But this right here, I would have gotten messed up with that. Because look, if you zoom in, I know this was like an overnight time frame, so this is maybe a bad example, but it's below VWAP. There was a downtrend. I would have been looking for shorts, but then it opened up bullish and it's above VWAP, but then it drops below. Just that. Not being able to read when price is choppy. That's the part with gold that I have not figured out yet, to answer your question, Ram. All right. Slowly inching its way up. Let's see if it hits this first take profit. Might end up just leaving this position to run and not sit at this screen and stare at it because this is getting boring. It's rejecting the high value area from Sunday night. Yeah. That's why I actually have my first profit target at that general level. 184 is where my first TP is. It's not an aggressive sell-off though, so I'm giving it a little bit of room. It could still continue up. Still inching its way up. Is gold getting a pullback or is it still going up too? Well, it got a little pullback, but kind of looks like it wants to continue up. With the way this thing is just slowly grinding up, I kind of wonder if we are going to make a new all-time high. I don't know if I have the patience to sit through it though, because it might take 5 hours to get there. Almost there. Is it gonna at least grab that first order? So close. You guys keep talking about YM. Yeah, it's a pretty nice trend there. And that was right at the market open. It just dumped for 30 minutes straight. Could have just marketed order in. Touch it. Do it. Yay. All right. So, like I said, might be an all-time high kind of day. So, I'm going to continue to scale out. This is initial balance high. This is the overnight high. Let's see what happens. Extension target. Let's take a look at what the initial balance extension shows. Possibly up to 25,274, maybe. Just for funsies. Gonna trail my stop a little bit tighter. Have a good one, Rom. Yeah, Yartex, you don't talk to your candles? It works. You saw evidence of it. It works. Ask nicely. Say please. You do too? All right, it's not just me. I'm not the only crazy person on YouTube talking to my candles. Good. Make me feel better about myself. All right, you guys. I think I'm going to end this stream there just so I can get up and go do stuff around the house. But I'm going to leave my orders. I have a sell order set at the initial balance high, the overnight high, which is previous day high, and then I'm going to leave a runner. I have my profit target set at the extension for the initial balance high on the indicator that I have. Just because when you get up to all-time highs, you can't really do much other than, you know, percentages and fib extensions and that kind of stuff. But I'll catch you guys in Discord. I'll update you on how this is going, and I'll see you tomorrow live again at the open 9:15. Have a great one, you guys. Take care.